finally, I'm here. I feel like it's taken forever. I feel like I gotta set the mood. Olive's in here and she's extremely whiny today. So just so you know, that's what you're hearing. Is Olive's crying. Yes. Check this out. This is pretty fancy. First off, I know I'll get questions on this. It's an old antique table lighter and I love it. This is not just any ordinary cone. It is a backflow cone. So you put it in here and then the smoke comes down and pools around these guys. You've probably seen it on my Instagram. I've shared it a couple times. We're switching things up on the drink. Many of you probably think this is a dirty martini. We are going to try a coffee martini. So, go grab your drink. Look at my cup, isn't it cool? I made it. Now, this is a dirty martini. But isn't it fun? Chevy Rell stuff. I have a friend who has a friend that has a pottery studio, and we went there. Look at that. Oh my gosh. That looks so good. It totally looks like coffee. You could totally dupe people. Oh, that's dangerous. You guys. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a good one. I will link the video in the show notes. I got this recipe off a YouTube video, a tasty YouTube video. They did cold brew drinks, and this is a cold brew martini. What it is, 1.5 ounces of coffee liqueur, which I use Kahlua, 1.5 ounces of vodka, and 1 ounce of coffee, cold brew coffee. I doubled that because that's how we do things here. Go big or go home. As most of you know, I like ice in my beverages. I drink I haven't even started yet and I can't talk. I drink my dirty martinis on ice. The reason that I'm not doing this on ice is because I am a follower of a recipe first. I think when you try something first, you need to have it the way the recipe says it is before you go messing with it. Now, don't tell him I told you, but Dan is not a believer of this. I'll give him a recipe that I want to try because he's the cook. Most of you know that the smoke detector is the song of my people. But I will give him something and he like messes with it before we've tried it the way it's supposed to be, and I always get mad at him for it. Which also don't tell him, big secret, he messed up rice last night. The reason that this is funny is because Dan never messes anything up. Like when I first met Dan, I thought he was like this cocky, arrogant jerk. And then I just realized that no, he's just right all the time. Like he's not being cocky or arrogant, he's just right all the time. So in the 13 plus years that we've been together, I can count the times he's wrong on like one hand. So I always have to point it out when he is. The rice looked like risotto. Don't tell him. Go grab your drink. Let's get started. We can tell this one's gonna be a doozy. Hey guys, Chevy Rell here, also known as Chevis. If any of you are new, I will try to remember to link the introduction video, which I thought the other day, New Year's Day is gonna be my 2-year anniversary. And I don't remember what that video, I need to go back and look at it. I don't even remember what I've said in it. If you haven't watched it, which like I have, I mean, obviously I recorded it, but I don't remember. My name is Chevis, but I go by Chevy Rell on like all of the interwebs. Family and friends call me Chevy. My parents have called me Chevy Rell from the time I was a baby probably. And that's because Chevy is short for Chevis and Rell is my middle name. So that's where Chevy Rell comes from. I don't know if I say that in the introduction video or not, but I thought about it the other day that some of you might not know that. Maybe I say it in there. I don't know. Anyway, holy cow, I've barely started. You guys, I had 1 beer last night and was tipsy. Dan was laughing at me. I record in the stuff room If you're new, you're probably like, who is this babbling idiot? This is a podcast. This is a podcast mainly about fiber stuff and ramblings, which it didn't start out that way. I said I was only going to talk about knitting stuff, but a lot of you like my ramblings. So, hey, if you like it, I'll include it. I ramble. This is the stuff room. It is filled with all sorts of stuff. And for you OGs out there, you can see that it has changed, which brings me to apologizing but not apologizing. Like, I wanted to apologize for being gone for so long, but then the other part of me was like, why should I apologize? Like, life is just happening and y'all get that, right? The reason is I'll of course insert excuse segment here. Holidays coming up, Christmas. For some reason, I have decided last minute to do a bunch of holiday knitting. So I have really been doing that because, let's face it, I didn't give myself a whole lot of time to do it, which is really dumb. But you know me, I always bite off more than I can chew. I just got done doing a shop update. For those of you who don't know, I make jewelry and stitch markers and stuff. I have an Etsy shop, Chevy Rell stuff. I'll link it. Go check that out. There's still some stuff in there. That took a lot of time. And then the main thing, back to the stuff room, is we had construction, which way TMI, and I'm guessing you guys don't care, but our house was built in 1979. The previous owners did not maintain the stonework on the front of the house that needs to be done, which I don't know what that is either. Apparently there is maintenance on stonework like ceiling and things, and our house was taking on water. So what it had done is, we're on a slab and the water had leaked in through the front windows over many, many years. I mean, this didn't happen overnight. The entire front of the house had to come off. All the stone needed to be replaced. I've mentioned little snippets of it about that on the podcast before, because this was supposed to be the year of the kitchen and we'd saved money for the kitchen, and then this had to happen. So I don't have my kitchen, but our house is not leaking anymore, and I did get a new front window, so things could be way worse. That being said, the front of the house is 3 rooms. It's my stuff room, my craft room, and the spare room. In order for them to rip the entire front of the house off, which is what needed done, like the whole front of the house, all the drywall, everything, all of the rooms had to be moved from the front to the back. Well, I had been wanting to rearrange the stuff room for a long time, and it was just a perfect excuse to do so. So, no, I didn't change everything around, but I did move quite a few things. I plan on doing a stuff room tour. That's another video I need to watch. I do have an old stuff room tour. I'll try and link that as well. I need to go watch that just to see how, like, what I've changed and also what I've talked about. So I'll be sure to talk about different things in the new stuff room tour. That will be after this episode. We did get festive. My Christmas wreath is up. The story on that is I oogled over it at Michael's forever, and it was like a $30 wreath, and I couldn't bring myself to pay $30 for it. And I went in there one day on a whim, not for that, but it was after Christmas, and it was marked 75% off. Of course, y'all know me. I saw that as the universe saying that needed to be in my life. So it's one of my favorite holiday decorations. You are currently sitting on the table where my tree and stuff is. So you'll see, the stuff room tour will be with the Christmas stuff up. I'm sure you won't mind. What do you say we get into the fiber stuff after all this rambling? I have some FOs. That's right, it's done. This is my Penguono FO. This is showcasing all hand-spun yarn. This is Staple, for those of you who've heard me talk about Staple in previous episodes. I love the way it turned out. I absolutely love it. I'm not quite sure what else to say about it. The plan is to wear this Rhinebeck 2020. Are there rules for a Rhinebeck sweater? I watched Kristy Glass's Rhinebeck sweater video, which I love. I mean, I love watching that. It almost makes me feel like I'm part of Rhinebeck, that she does those videos. And at first, when I saw that it was over 2 hours long, I was like, oh, really? I'm like, I get it, right? I totally get it, but 2 hours? So it sat in my queue for a minute. Like normally I will listen to podcasts in my YouTube queue while I'm at work working. So, you know, the majority of stuff I do, like I can listen to you talk and then I'll look over and see what you're showing. But the the Rhinebeck sweater video, you have to like look the whole time, right? So it took me a minute before I had time to do that. Well, by the time I got to it in my queue and watched it, it was way like after she'd posted it, but it was amazing and it got me all excited again. But then I thought, well, shit, like all these people were talking about how they, you know, were casting off like the night before. And do you have to knit your Rhinebeck sweater like the year of Rhinebeck or the month of Rhinebeck or what? What do you guys think? Because then I was like, well, shit, maybe I can't wear it at Rhinebeck. Like, is it too early? But the whole reason that I made this my Rhinebeck sweater is because then I found, like, right when I started it is when I found out that I was going to be able to go to Rhinebeck 2020. Hello? Am I going to get to meet you there? I hope so. But what do you think? Do you think that this is Rhinebeck sweater worthy? Or do you think that I should pack it but knit another Rhinebeck sweater? And you know, I know that there's like a whole year to go and like I'll change my mind umpteen times, but as of now, this was supposed to be the Rhinebeck sweater. But after I watched that video, I was questioning my judgment. Was I a little premature on the Rhinebeck sweater knitting? It just seemed like the right thing to do at the time. So anyway, it's finished. And I love it. I love it. And it's so squishy and awesome and great. And I love it so much. I feel like Kristen Wiig. I love it. The Target lady on SNL. Oh my God, I'm so hot. I haven't even finished a whole martini. You guys have been jonesing for a martini episode, haven't ya? I'm here to deliver. And we've only just begun. We've only just begun. Is that a real song or am I making up those words? Let's see what's next. Next up is my storm shawl. Y'all remember that? First, I have to say, I almost forgot. This Penguono qualifies for Tommi of Squirrel Pie Productions, her flashy make-along, which I should post a picture and put it in the tag because I have not done that yet. But, I mean, is this flashy or what? We have some Angelina sparkly stuff in there. We got some buttons and some pearls. I mean, if pearls aren't flashy, what is? I mean, there's no bedazzling on here, but pretty damn close to flashy, I think. I have no idea if that's still going on or not. But if you're knitting or making anything flashy, it's linked below and you should go check it out because I have not looked at her Ravelry thing. I want to go look at the FOs. I haven't looked at it in a while and I'm really excited because like flashy's fun, right? Okay, so I was going to say before that thought came to me that my knitting that you've seen previously, even though it's been a while since we've chatted, which also, before I forget, Mama Jean said, thank you all for the love. Like she read the comments and she's tickled that you guys love her as much as I do. So she said, thank you very much. Most of my knitting has been put on hold because of the whole Christmas thing. Like I said, I don't know why I've like got a burr up my ass to, is that the saying? A burr up my ass, a bug up my ass, a burr up my ass. What's the saying? I'm gonna have to Google it. I knit Hohi's Storm Shawl, which was a gift from a viewer. Thank you so much. This is not blocked. This is, I should title this the episode of excuses, because I feel like that's what this is. This is not blocked because my entire house has been torn apart and let me just tell you, the stuff room is the only room that's put back together. My craft room and the spare room are still not done. There are things that I can't find. The stuff room just got put together last night, so I really haven't had a place to block things. I know that's an excuse, but I finished this, after everything had already been torn apart. The lighting is not doing the color justice. This is River's Edge Fiber Arts. I don't know the colorway. I don't even know that she has a huge online presence or anything, but I love the colorway. And there's a little, you can kind of see the colors. It really is awesome. I love the colorway. I have to block it and I have to weave in the ends. I think that after I block it, it is going to be way bigger. I will say this part, like the top part, which is where you start. Where do you start? You start right here. And then there's like these wedges and some drop stitches and short rows and that kind of stuff to make it crescent shaped. This is not stretchy at all. It's not going to grow, but the bottom is going to grow. It will fit more scarfy, I think, than shawl-like. It is a one skein wonder. Last time I talked about this, I think I'd mentioned how the last section of drop stitches I was going to do on straight needles because it was such a pain in the ass on circular needles. And then a bunch of you commented that straight needles would be easier, plus Hohi knits on straight needles. Like leaps and bounds 100% better. If you ever have to do drop stitches and the pattern is, written as such, like you don't have to be on, like it's not in the round. Not that I've ever knit drop stitches in the round, never say never. But if you can do it on straights, it was so like brilliant. And I actually feel stupid for not thinking about it for how many times did I do it? Oh, the 2 times before that. So the last drops and the most of them I did on straights and it was so much better. I guess I should have prefaced this with saying Logan don't watch. I don't think Logan watches, but I am going to block this and gift this to Logan, who is my brother's girlfriend, for Christmas. If for some reason you are watching, don't watch because there's more stuff in here for you, so shut it off. But I really don't think that she watches. That being said, I might as well show you her next Christmas present. It's the Graham hat. Right. You guys, I love this hat. The Graham is by Jennifer Adams, and it is a free pattern. I had this hat in black, and it was like this shitty acrylic black that I knit it with. I got compliments on that hat all the time. Like nobody knew it was acrylic. I was getting compliments on that hat from knitters. Not that acrylic's bad, but this was like shitty acrylic. It wasn't like 1970s Red Heart acrylic, but it wasn't like, I don't even remember what kind of yarn it was, but it was squeaky when I was knitting it. I knit it so long ago and I have since lost the hat, but I always loved it and I always got hella compliments on it. It is a free pattern and it's a broken rib. So you knit it actually on the wrong side. This is what it looks like when you're knitting it. But then the wrong side is out, and that's what gives it that cool waffly look. It's super easy, and because it's a free pattern, there's no secret sauce. You knit a row, and then you knit 1, purl 1. You knit a row, you knit 1, purl 1. That's all it is. Super, super fast knit. Some of you may recognize this yarn. It's Manos del Uruguay. The Maxima base in their Stratus colorway, and I knit, I wanted to say Beauregard. No, Beaumont, was that what it was called? I'll try and link my sweater video, my sweater weather video for those of you. It's in there somewhere. This yarn is like scrumdiddlyumptious. Not even lying. It's a single ply. I can't, oh, actually, hold on. Look at me being all prepared and I'm totally not prepared. Here's the tag. I purchased this at Broad Ripple Knits in Indianapolis, and this is 100% wool. That's all it says. It doesn't say what kind of wool it is. Oh, yes, it does. Fair trade, extra fine merino. And this is like butter, people, like butter. I'm hoping that I have enough left over. I haven't weighed it or anything, but I'm hoping I have enough left over to knit myself one. This is the medium size. They call for, I think it's 6 and 8, and I did 7 and 9 because I'm a tight knitter. So I don't know if I got gauge or not, but that's how mine fits. And I think I started to say Logan is 100 and she's infinity knitworthy. She still has and wears all the time everything I've ever knit her. The other person who is super knitworthy, which is my next FO, is my brother, but I don't think I'm gonna give him this. I knit my brother the Barley Hat by Tincanknits. Now, this looks terrible because I haven't blocked it yet. This is Socks That Rock. I don't know if any of you are familiar at all with Socks That Rock, but do you see how tight? It's probably focusing on my face. I don't know how else to do it. You can see it. I can see it. Do you see how tight that ply is? It is springy. I think it's a heavy fingering. So I think this is going to grow. I actually started knitting a hat. Olive, are you okay? You guys, I think Olive's deaf. For those of you who don't know Olive, she is our blind diabetic 3-legged pug with dry eye and bladder cancer. And I came home today and she did not hear me at all. I was talking to her like this far from her face and she didn't hear me. And when I touched her, it scared her. And that's the first time, like I knew her hearing wasn't subpar, but that's the first time that I think she's ever not heard me at all. And I think that might be why she's whining, because she can't hear. I don't know. Anyway, side note. The reason that I left this tail on here is because I was going to give it to my brother and sew one of my tags on, but I had this knit. Do you guys see this line right here? Like this is all flat knit and this is kinky. It's because I had started knitting something else with this yarn and ripped it out. So it, was all spaghetti crinkly and I was, gonna block it, whatever. My brother does not like slouchy hats. And this is obviously very slouchy. I, however, love the way it fits. So I think I just might keep it for myself. There is so much yarn fluff in this, and I don't even care. They call it fiber for a reason, right? It's not gonna hurt me, it's fine. This is superwash, and I thought about washing it and drying it and seeing what happened. I don't know. I mean, it's not gonna hurt anything. I'll wear it either way. And I wanna get those kinks out of there. It looks terrible. Like that. I mean, it's no different than if you're knitting from a sock blank, but I think it'll be, I don't know. It's super squishy and great though. If you've never had Socks That Rock, which is Blue Moon Fiber Arts, right? I think, because I always think of the beer. I'll wear the shit out of this hat. But that also means that I'm going to have to knit my brother another hat. Because I do feel like I knit him a hat every year. He's so knitworthy, you guys. I'm very blessed to have a knitworthy brother, because you know how a lot of dudes are. Like Dan's knitworthy, Cade's, my dad. I made my dad some Cleveland Brown socks. Yes, don't make fun. When I was a little girl, I had a Bernie Kosar nightgown, just saying. He wears those socks all the time. Like I have some knitworthy dudes in the family. They're just not sweater dudes. They're more like hats and socks dudes. They're more like Carhartt men, if you catch my drift. Hi, baby. Hi. Those are all my FOs. So you know what's next, right?
Whips!
Okay. I have not knit on a lot of stuff. I have some languishing whips that I really want to work on, specifically my lights and twigs. My shawl from Barbara. I have not knit that because I started doing Christmas knitting. But I had, prior to working on Christmas knitting, I did get a little bit done on my Ambershore shawl. Ambershore by Inese. Am I just making up people's names now? Hold on. Inese Sang. I am totally making up people's names. This is it. And this is my Labyrinth shawl. Now, I did mention on the last episode that Barbara has a different way of doing bobbles, and I did it Barbara's way, which is a knit bobble instead of a crochet hook bobble. The Ambershore is a paid for pattern, and I can't remember how much it is, but it is a paid for pattern. I totally just gave away that her bobbles are crochet bobbles. I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but she has crochet bobbles, and I tried Barbara's way of knit bobbles. You guys, I'm so excited for this. I can't even. Look at this. Oh, you can't see. I wish you could squish. I wish you could get the squish. This is my friend Lindsay's yarn, Lindenwool. She's linked. Whatever base she uses is marvelously squishy. The reason I call this my Labyrinth shawl is because all of these colorways are Labyrinth. This is Jareth, the brown is Ludo, and this is Labyrinth. And the last time you all saw it, I was by my stitch marker from my friend Angie B, the knitter next door, who is having a baby, a little Richie or Angie B. I did all this color work, and there's Barbara's knit bobbles, and there's the crocheted bobbles. And I'm cool with the knit bobbles. It went so much faster. This is color work, and Leanne from Cocktail Hour at the Coop also just got done doing a shawl that had front and back color work. Here's my floats. Everybody loves a good float sighting. And she is right. It's not hard to do front and back color work, but it's definitely slower. Your muscle memory or something. Okay, so whenever I'm teaching someone to knit, you know how awkward it feels? I don't know if y'all remember when you first learned how to knit, but it feels really weird, right? Like the needles in your hands feel foreign. Well, when you first start and it's so weird and they're like, I hate it, it doesn't feel right. I always say it's not gonna feel right. It's just like when you're learning how to drive a manual. That is not second nature. You're very on guard and you feel like everything you're doing's wrong, and then eventually it clicks. And those of us who can drive sticks, we know that once you learn how to drive a manual, you don't think about it anymore. It just happens. Like you just shift, you know, and knitting's the same way. Eventually, like once you get more comfortable with it, it just clicks. We have that. It's why we can knit in the dark at movie theaters. If you're new to knitting and you're like, oh, I'd love to knit in a dark movie theater, you'll eventually get there. It just sort of happens the more you knit. Just like when you're learning how to drive a stick and then just one day you can do it and not think about it. Same thing. Well, for me, who can knit in the dark in a movie theater and have been able to do that for years, this is the first time that that knitting has felt foreign to me in a long time, because you're just so used to knitting and purling. Color work on the wrong side feels very awkward. It's like learning how to knit all over again. You don't have that muscle memory of your hands. At least that's what I have found out. So just so you know, it's not hard, but it definitely feels like my hands almost hurt because they aren't used to doing that motion. I don't know how else to explain it. The other thing about this Ambershore shawl, and y'all can point it out to me or tell me if you are good at or have done color work on the wrong side a lot. I get like, I don't know if you can see this, like right there I messed up because when you go down, see this is kind of ugly. Sorry, I'm covering my mouth. This part right there is kind of ugly. On the turn, you go color work right and you stop here with the yellow and then you work down with the brown and you flip it. This yarn management for some reason at this loop-de-loop, like I'm catching it, but I almost feel like I need to catch it a couple stitches after because I had been stopping, which I don't know if you can see kind of that little pearl bump. I'd been stopping there and it made it look stupid. So I'm calling it a goof, and it's just because I've never went back and forth on color work. You know, color work's always been in the round, so you never get that funny pull because then when you come back around, you're pulling. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. But if you ever knit color work on the back, be mindful of that. Now, on the last couple times, because it took me that long to figure it out, I kind of went down and caught it back here so that then it didn't pull like at the end of the color work. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but it was weird for me, and I just thought that it was worth mentioning to anyone who is doing back and forth color work. And maybe you know a secret to it. So if anything that I just said made any sense to you and you know what I did, I haven't Googled it or anything. There might even be, you know, like if I Googled color work front and back, I'm sure that there are tips somewhere. I did not look into that. I just wanted to mention that to you. If you are ever looking at doing color work front and back, it's something to be mindful of, because I did not know that it was something I needed to be mindful of until I was actually doing it. Now, like I said, it's a shawl for me. I don't care that it's weird. Had I not pointed it out to you, you would never know that it was weird. But if you're gift knitting color work front and back or something like that, like I said, I think it's worth mentioning for you to look at. Also, if you know a trick I'm not aware of, comment below. One of the main reasons that I do this podcast is I want to learn. And I learn so much from you guys. Just like when I asked about the drop stitches and somebody said straights and it was like, duh, why did I not think of that? The other reason that I love doing the podcast is I think that a lot of us are not spoiled. What's the word? I think there's a lot of us that take for granted that we have knit groups. I know that there are a lot of you who might live out in the boonies. Like, I grew up in the boonies. I totally know what the boonies is like. We were actually just talking the other day about how, you know how like caller 10 on the radio, and if you know the answer to this question, you can win that prize. I never got to do that because the radio station was an hour away and it was long distance. But I have since moved out of the boonies. But my family still lives in the boonies, so I get it. Not everybody has a knitting group. If I still lived at home, I would not have a knitting group. I feel like YouTube has enabled video podcasters to get to you. And I love that we can be, I mean, we might not be face to face, but I love that YouTube has enabled you to have that relationship with other knitters. That's why I am very, and I know not all podcasters are this way. A lot of us are, but there are some who are not. I always try to reply to all the comments, at least with a heart. Like, yes, I read it. If it warrants a reply, like if you've asked a question or something, or if I have a legitimate comment, I'm not going to comment just for sake of commenting, but I also always heart it because I want you guys to know that I've seen it. Should I get off my soapbox now? I've barely gotten anywhere. My next whip is also a Christmas gift. My sister does not watch this, but if for some weirdo reason you happen to click on this and you're watching this, like, shut it off. You can't see this. Okay, my sister Kristy, which, hold on, I'll show you a picture. Oh, she's back there. Let me show you a picture of my brother and my sister. How many of y'all know Paige the Framer? This is one of her knit mats. Hashtag knit mat me. This is my brother Cade and my sister Kristy. Hold on, let me go hang this up before I break it. Okay, so my sister asked me, get this. Now, I say this with love. I don't want to say she's not knit worthy. She's knit worthy, but she is acrylic knit worthy, if that makes sense. Like, she will love what I knit her. She will not hand wash this. And I'm going to tell her it'll last her longer if she hand washes it. But, like, I know full well this might not last. That being said, she asked me for Christmas for a white Shrug. She loves white. Her motorcycle's white. Another reason why I personally think that acrylic is better for her, because the white I feel like will stay white. Somebody who is not going to hand wash and wants a Shrug, I of course picked super bulky. So this is by Lion Brand. It's their Fisherman Shrug, super bulky. That's what it looks like. This is a free pattern, so I'm not going to, give anything away. This is what it looks like. Now, it has very interesting construction. You knit the back. Wait, is that right? Yeah. You knit the back, okay? And then this is the front. So you knit the back, you have two arms, and then, this one's better. And then you have these two little triangles. The yarn that I'm using, it is Knit Picks Mighty Stitch Super Bulky. It's mostly acrylic and I think 20% wool. I don't know. There's some wool in it. Kristy will do fine. I'm just going to tell her it'll be fine. I'm not worried about it. I'm going to tell her that if she can hand wash it, but. So it's pieced, obviously. This is the back. Of course not blocked because I'm not done with it yet. This is on stitches, which the ring light is blowing this out. Sorry. Sorry. I have one sleeve done, which looks like this. And there's see already, Tommi, look at this. Okay, this is what I was going to say. For those of you who watch Tommi, Squirrel Pie Productions, she cannot knit with anything that has like things. This mighty, what I say it was? Knit Picks Mighty Stitch Super Bulky. This has not been enjoyable. And now that I have this out, I'm just going to drink. Ew, that was like a long one. I'm just going to drink more fiber. It's still in there. It gets him the whole time I'm knitting. It's been terrible. I hate it. Sorry, Knit Picks. If fluffy flyaway shit doesn't bother you, like, have at it. I think it's going to wash up nice. I don't know that, but this is where I am on the second sleeve. And then I have these two, look at these two little triangles here. Do you know where I'm going with this? I'm knitting a bikini. No. Isn't that weird? Anyway, there's these two weirdo little triangles. So I'm almost done, right? Like and it's so fast. It's super bulky, so it's going like super quick. But then I have to piece it together and do the band and it'll be finished. It's not enjoyable. It's super fast, that's fine. But that flyaway shit, like it's all in my drink. I'm just gonna keep drinking. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. But the entire time I'm knitting with it, things are flying in front of my face. It's in my nose. It's in my eyes. So I'll be very glad when that is done, which won't take me long. It's super fast knit, but those are the only whips that are Christmas knits. Now, I also want to knit Cole a new hat, who's my 6-month-old nephew. And he's a chunky monkey and I love him. Dude, you should see all these flyaway things. It never goes away. They taunt me, I swear they do. I'm super excited about this last whip. Like real excited. How many of y'all know Rebecca? Hey, it's Rebecca from the Mean Girls and her sister Stephanie. They're like my friends on the West Coast, just saying. She put on Instagram, on her Instagram stories, that she was looking for somebody to do an advent swap with, an advent calendar swap. I will tell you, I have never done an advent calendar. She was like, I'm looking for somebody to do fingering weight, maybe with some little extras, a skein on day 25, and like a swap, and that they all go together-ish, you know, like gradient style, not necessarily gradient, but you know, like they all go kind of in an order together. And I was like, dude, I'll totally do that, because you guys know I've been on like basically a spending freeze because of my mouth, my teeth, which I'll talk about that later. This is going to be the longest episode ever because I've waited so long to record. Well, not that I've waited, I just didn't have time. Anyway, I was like, I can totally do that because I have like hella scrap yarn, which, and you know, 20 gram mini skeins is what it was. 20 gram mini skeins. So we did a swappy thing, right? I am doing the Lost in Time shawl. I'm sure you guys have seen this on Ravelry. I've seen it a bunch of times. I've always wanted to crochet it. This is crochet.
I'm promiscuous when it comes to my crafting abilities.
I've always wanted to crochet this shawl. Who knows when I'll have this edited, but I am on day 4, okay? I feel like I need to say this too. For those of you who are on Instagram, I did a highlights, and I am going to highlight the entire advent calendar. So I post in my stories every day. A highlight is when you go to my profile on Instagram, for those of you who don't know. When you go to my profile on Instagram and there's these little circles, it basically saves your stories. So on Instagram, you can only see a story for 24 hours, but if you save it, you can see it forever. So, and they call it a highlighted story. So if you go to my profile on Instagram, there's a 2019 Advent, and you'll be able to like watch all of them. So if you care to see them and miss a day, I am going to document the entire month on there. So and it's gonna blow out totally. This is day 1. This is day 2. I'm trying to not let it blow out. My ring light doesn't like things. And this is in my bag from Billy, which I thought was super fitting, Billy the Floridian, because she made me this bag and she's a crocheter. So I wanted this project to be in my bag from Billy. This is day 3, and I've not gotten to this row yet. I didn't have time yesterday. I did open day 3. I still need to do day 3 on my Lost in Time shawl. And this is fingering weight, and I am crocheting this on a G hook. And you guys, this is a free pattern. I forgot to mention, free pattern, and it comes in like 85 languages. So if English is not your first language, I'm sure that your language is on there. This is what I have so far. I know it's little. I'm only on day 3. This will be the next color. And there's baubles. The next thing includes baubles. I'm so excited. And I thought that I'd open day 4 with y'all. Look at these. These are what all her bags look like. Look. All of her bags are in these super cute North Pole bags. And look at these, look, they're stickers, but they're like, she bedazzled her bags. Come on now. So let's open it. Look, day 4. Let's see what we got today. I think I should take a drink first. I know it looks like tea. It's not. Oh, here's the other thing. How brilliant is this for those of you who do advent calendars, like put your own together? She uses paint swatches. This is Disney Ultra Durable Paint in Rally Blue. Ooh. This is Dragon Horde yarn. It says sweater equals sweater. Hana Made It in Jingle Joy, I think that says. Is that what that says? Jingle Joy sweater. Did she knit a sweater? Rebecca, what do you mean? Did you knit a sweater and Hana Made It? Or is that the base? This is Jingle Joy. Dude. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, it's browns. Hold on, let me show you day 3. Oh, this is good. Look, matches my hair. Do you see? Such a dork. Okay, I have to say, while this is my first and only advent calendar, Rebecca's bougie and has not 1 or 2, but 3 advent calendars going. So she has Stephanie's advent calendar, she has my advent calendar, and then she has, which with my advent calendar, she's doing a brioche. With Stephanie's advent calendar, I think she's doing like little ornaments. I could be wrong. I know she did at least an ornament. But then her 3rd advent calendar, you guys, Hana Made It. Her advent calendar is amazing. It's packaged adorable. Her colorways are fire. Like, Hana Made It is on my wish list. I will be scoring some of her stuff. Like, her colorways are awesome. She has pink hair. Of course, I love that. She seems like a rad chick. So I am loving watching Rebecca open Hana Made It's advent calendar every day, every year. I was going to say every year. Every day. So if you like to watch others because you don't have your own advent calendar, Hana Made It's advent calendar is pretty rad. Just saying. And if I can afford it, totally want one for next year. And Rebecca is making pants, leggings with it. And the colorways are awesome. I am so, this whole month, and we're early enough, you guys. Day 4, who knows when this video will be out, but early enough to follow along. Thank you for sharing. Makes my heart happy. So I will be adding this Dragon Horde yarn. Wait a minute. What is wrong with me? I'm totally confused. Okay, so it's Rebecca, you're confusing me. It might be the vodka. So it's Dragon Horde yarn, right? But then it says sweater equals Hana Made It Jingle Joy. Don't confuse the drunk person. I need clarification. I'm going to get a hold of her. I'll put clarification down here. I mean, obviously it's Dragon Horde yarn, but where does Hana Made It come in? And what's Jingle Joy? And what's sweater? Sweater equals Hana Made It Jingle Joy. I'm going to move on. I'll clarify, I promise. What's next? Next, I have a gift. Many years ago now, one of my Instagram followers, like many years ago, way before I started podcasting, a gal named Joyce from New York started following me. And I have no idea. Oh, pugs. It was a pug thing. That's how we got connected. And I knit her, no. Was it crochet? Maybe it was crochet. I don't know. She commissioned me. I made her little girl a squid, it was knit, a knit squid. And then I crocheted her a little octopus. That's what it was. I sent that as a little extra. When Olive lost her leg, she sent Olive a pug blanket. For you OGs, you might remember seeing that. And we've just kind of remained, she's like an internet friend. Debbie and I, the Canadian crocheter, sent me, and yes, it's crocheter, you guys, she says that. Canadian crocheter, she says crocheter, it's funny, haha, that's her name. That's what she calls herself. So Debbie lives in Canada, and she and I did a Canadian swap. If I remember, I will tag it up there if you care. We traded back Canadian and US snacks, okay? And I don't think that Joyce watches the podcast. I'm not sure if she does or not. I posted that I did that swap on Instagram with Debbie, and I get this in the mail, and it's from Joyce. I mean, are you kidding me? She said, I saw that you did a Canadian swap. I think you should do a Japanese swap. Well, not even a swap, a Japanese, this is Japanese. Look at this box, you guys. She sent this for me to me just because she's awesome. Look at this stuff. I mean, there's a drink in here. Whoop. Okay, so, those are gummy things. Okay, That is the most that I've looked at that. I just opened it. What you just saw is the most I've looked at this, okay? And I told her that I was going to wait to do it until I did a video. But I wanted to ask you guys. I know that this is a fiber-related channel, right? A, would you be interested in... Of course, I'd make Dan try everything with me, because that's the kind of chick I am. Would you be interested in Dan and I doing one of these videos? If you're not if some of you are interested and some of you are not interested, I would just ask, because I don't want to open like this whole other some people do that. They'll like open a whole nother channel for non-fibery things. I don't do this very often. I think a lot of you think that it's fun. Maybe I'm way off. I don't know. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. But if anyone shows love and wants to see Dan and I eat these snacks from Japan, let me know. We'll do a video. If we do a video and you don't care about the video, our feelings will not be hurt if you skip that video. It's fine. But we'll see what y'all want to see. If you don't show any interest in watching Dan and I eat a mystery snack box from Hello Sanrio, Dan, do you wanna eat a Japanese snack box in front of people?
I do not.
What if I make you?
Is it candy?
There's a lot of candy.
No.
Dan's not a candy person. But if we do, if the viewers want to see you and I partake in this wonderfulness, you will, right?
I would eat the non-candy things.
But if you try it, I think you should, right? I think you should at least try the candy things.
We'll see.
You guys are on my side, right? Back to this. Do you want to see us eat this? If you do, I'll make a video. If not, I won't put you through it, and I'll make my family eat it with me. Let me know. We're on the home stretch, people. I feel like this is so long. The coffee martini might have something to do with it. Next up is Miscellaneous. Some of you who were with us at the beginning of the year might remember that last year there were multiple podcasters who were involved in the New to You make-along. This is spearheaded by Liz and Leanne at Cocktail Hour at the Coop. What the New to You make-along was last year is you pick a craft that you've never done before, but you want to learn how to do. And it can be any craft. Any craft. It can be any crafty type thing that you've never done, that's new to you. Last year, I want to say there were like 15 different people who participated in it. Most of them podcasters, some of them makers. There are hella prizes. The particulars have not been established yet, but the reason that I'm mentioning it is so that your wheels will start spinning to figure out what's new to you that you want to try for the new year. It's sort of like a New Year's resolution that you don't have to keep. Let's be honest, isn't that the majority of us? Answer in the comments below. How many of you are still doing the resolution that you put in place January 1st? I want to know. I have not forgotten my bag measurements. On the last episode, I showed my cross-stitch bag. Some of you are interested in the dimensions of this bag. I will write it up and I'll probably put it in the Ravelry group and I'll let you know when I do. I just wanted you to know I haven't forgotten. I did read those comments. I will get the measurements to you. It's just that they are written in a notebook that's in my craft room, and my craft room is all shoved into like a quarter of the room. It's gonna be a minute. Next, I'm gonna open my mail. Mama Jean, this is the end, basically, so you can just shut this off. Okay? Just trust me. Don't ruin your Christmas. I love your face. Bye. I think she's gone. The reason that I made Mama Jean go away is because I got her Christmas present in the mail today. One of her Christmas presents. On the last episode, I mentioned Cheryl and Becky, Two Pearls in a Pod podcast. They'll be linked below. They are on episode 11, I think, right now. Episode 10 is where they show this. You guys know I'm weird and have to watch my queue in order, and that's the last episode. That's how far behind I am. On their episode 10, they have a friend in their knitting group. Her name is Lisa. She makes shawl pins. I think it was Cheryl. And she showed this shawl pin. Well, guess what? Mama Jean has a shawl pin on her Christmas list. So she showed this shawl pin from Lisa, and I'm like, that's perfect. Sorry, but as of right now, she doesn't have an Etsy shop or anything. But she gave me her phone number, probably because she knows from my podcast that I'm not a stalker. I'm just saying. And Lisa watches the podcast, so she's not scared of me. At least I don't think she's scared of me. Mama Jean's shawl pin is in the red paper. The item in pink is for you. Oh, I got something. I get to meet her in real life at Sauter's Fiber Retreat, which I mentioned on the last episode. February, Sauter's, let me know if you're going. Some of you have. I'm real excited to meet you, IRL. I get to meet Lisa. She made this shawl pin. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to show you. Wait, how do I get in here? Oh. Okay. So I'm going to show you Mama Jean's. It's just going to be perfect, you guys. I know. Oh, dude, she even has like, what? Look at that. She even has labels and stuff. Here, I just thought she made them for fun. I didn't know she's all professional and stuff. I just want to open this so that you guys can see it real good. Look at that. Sorry, my light isn't on, but you can still see it, right? Oh, she's gonna love it, you guys. I'm so excited. And this is for me, which she did not have to do. Oh, it's an owl! Oh my God, you guys, look. You guys know I love a leverback. This is like an earring style closure. And look at these stitch markers. They're little hearts. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Lisa. You know I love me some owls. Aw, thank you. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? It's like hammered copper, and she has on the back how you care for it, which Mama Jean would probably know how to do. I do not. So here's a little secret about me. Well, I don't know that it's a secret. I love surprises, and I love giving people presents. And Mama Jean is one of the funnest people to give presents to. She gets so excited. Thank you, Lisa. It's awesome and exactly what she's going to love it. She's going to love it, I know. This, I knew I was getting that because I ordered it. When I went to the post office today, I did not know that I was getting this. It came from Canada. You know, I love my Canadian peeps. Look. Googly-eyed dog and beer. Hello. Happy holidays. Wishing you all a very Merry Christmas, Deb. Oh, it's from Debbie, Canadian Crocheter. Didn't know what to send you, so I'm sending you Canadian money. And it's chocolate. Canada dollar 2020, and there's a duck on it. Thank you so much. That was perfect. I seriously know some of the coolest people ever. I can only hope that y'all know people this cool. So that was awesome. I have, seriously, look, I have this much martini left, and Dan is making dinner, and I'm wrapping up. Real quick, I know I didn't mention anything on the tooth fiasco the last episode, and that was mainly because I recorded with Mama Jean. It was kind of long. However, this is so long. Oh my God, you probably aren't even watching anymore. But the tooth thing actually ended up being way, way better than I anticipated. I had the biopsy. They sent me to the endodontist. Originally, they thought that I would have to have 3 root canals and a resurfacing of the only root canal I've ever had, because keep in mind, I'd never had dental issues really. I had 1 root canal and that was it, and a few fillings. They didn't come right out and say it, but reading between the lines, it was insinuated that my dentist, who is no longer my dentist, who did my root canal, my only root canal, did not clean the infection out all the way, which dentists typically don't do root canals for that reason. If you ever have a root canal, they send you to an endodontist because that's what an endodontist is. They specialize in root canals. Well, my dentist did my root canal and didn't clean all the yuck out, and that's what has caused,
Allegedly.
this entire issue. I could be totally talking out my ass, but this is the feeling that I get from it, okay? The orthodontist did a biopsy, which I said was like way worse than I anticipated because I thought that he was just going to scoop some stuff out and send it in, and it was like this big, huge thing. Well, what I think happened, and this is totally speculation in my opinion, and I could be way off, I think that he like coded it as a biopsy, but cleaned out like as much as he possibly could. So I think that while he billed it as a biopsy, he might have done a little more. Now, I could be making that up, and I don't know that that's what he did for sure, but the dude was super awesome, and I explained my entire, like, issue, you know, like, the whole story from beginning to end, and I think that might be what he did. So he did say that he cleaned it out, like, as much as he could. When he cleaned it out, one of the teeth became not vital. Because if you remember way back from before, for those of you who are even still here, they thought I was going to need 3 root canals and a resurfacing. I ended up only needing 1 root canal and a resurfacing. What my original dentist did not do, and I don't know if this is common practice, but what the endodontist did is he like put a bunch of medicine, a bunch of antibiotics up in there and put temporary fillings in. And then that medicine stays in there for a month. So I'll go on Monday, this is Wednesday the 4th, and he'll take those temporary fillings out, he'll take all the medicine out, and he'll seal them. In a perfect world, that'll be the end of it, which I will do a happy dance. The reason I say in a perfect world is because I still have that missing, like there's a hole in here where the infection ate away my bone. Doing the root canal and getting that infection out of there, in a perfect world, once that infection's gone and the root canals are completed, my body will regenerate that missing bone and everything will be fine. In a non-perfect world, my body will not regenerate that bone and I will have to have additional oral surgery. If that bone regenerates and everything's cool, that'll be the last of it. If for some reason I have to have additional oral surgery, it is what it is. So far, I am just crossing my fingers that that's all it'll be and we'll roll with it. It ended up being a super positive thing. Even though it cost me more money at the time to switch dentists, I think that it cost me less money in the long run. Because originally, you'll remember they wanted to do 3 root canals and a resurfacing, plus oral surgery, like full oral surgery. And I've only needed a biopsy, 1 root canal, and a resurfacing. I guess the lesson here is that we are our own advocates for our health. If you ever feel not comfortable, like go for a second opinion. It was so worth it that I did that. I can't imagine, because there was a minute that I was just going to go with that jerk oral surgeon. I don't know if y'all remember. I was just going to throw in the towel and be like, screw it. I just want it over with. Like there was a minute. It just didn't feel right. Listen to your gut. Listen to your intuition. If it doesn't feel right, trust yourself. There's a reason. I want to give a huge, huge, huge heartfelt thank you to everyone who has supported the Etsy shop. That has been, I can't even begin to express what a huge, huge thing that's been for me on this journey. Like it has super, super, super helped me. And I appreciate every single purchase. Thank you so, so much. It's awesome. Because Everything is so busy. I don't know if I will record again before Christmas or whatever holiday it is that you celebrate. I am going to say cheers for the wintry season, and I hope that life's treating you well. Enjoy all of your wintry knitting and crocheting and fiber related things. If I don't see you before the new year, have a happy new year, and thank you so much. I mean, we're going on 2 years, people. Like I said, January 1st, 2 years that I've done this, and I have made some of the coolest friends. I've met some of the coolest people. I have seen the coolest things, and life's just good. Even in like this shitty like tooth thing and all the like BS that life throws at you sometimes, in the grand scheme of things, life is awesome. And my life is awesome because you guys are part of it. So thanks for being along for the journey. Cheers if you still have your drink, and we'll catch you on the next one. Later.